So as we have come to another year of our Rich Living series that we do every year, we honestly weren't sure whether or not we were going to do a 90-day tithing challenge going along with that series. But to be very honest with you, we could not ignore all of the great stories that have come in, all the impact that has been felt by people and in our community. And so after a lot of prayer and consideration and thinking, we've decided this is exactly what God wants us to do as a church together. So here is Dave Trevorrow's story.
When I was first introduced to the concept of tithing was back when I went to a Lutheran church school. So I've always known about the tithing, but I didn't really feel the need, or I didn't feel compelled to do it until last year. Heritage Church came up with the 90-day tithing challenge. What I came to was the realization that I should have been doing it and wasn't, but it wasn't too late to start. The whole idea just moved me to where I thought, this is the time, this is something I should do, and this is the time to do it. I accepted the challenge. When I jumped into it, I figured out my income at the time. My tithe ended up being $400 a month. In December, my first payment went out. In January, I felt God showed up, and I received a check in the mail from Chrysler Capital. I had turned a lease vehicle in a year prior to that, and I had no idea that I had any money coming from Chrysler Capital. The letter I received had no explanation, just a check for $1,198. So at $400 a month, I felt that took care of the first 90 days. So the challenge that I accepted, I felt that God accepted also. I was giving to God and God was giving back to me. So it just felt right. And ever since then, my life has been great. That $400 comes out the first of every month or the beginning of every month. And I don't even worry that I'm going to be $400 short to pay my bills. If you feel that you should be giving, but you're nervous about doing it, take the challenge. You have nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose. I think that you'll have the same experience or close to it that I did. Your life will improve either financially or health-wise or your relationships. I feel just better about myself since doing this, and I think that you will too.
Well, stories like David's are incredible and very inspiring. I have so many in my life, and I know so many of you do as well, because that's what happens when the people of God step out in faith and they trust God by giving generously. So here's what the 90-day tithing challenge really is. You sign up to commit to give whatever amount for 90 days, and you give generously. And then at the end of that 90 days, if for any reason at all, for whatever reason, you decide just to change your mind, you don't even have to let us know why. You email us and we'll just simply refund all that money during that 90 days, no questions asked, secretly, quietly, and anonymously. Now, why do we do that? Well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, we know that it takes 90 days to build a habit. We all know this. And so it gets us in the habit of saying, okay, God, I've never done this before, but I'm going to honor you first and I'm going to live on the rest. And it forces us to step out in faith. Number two, we're doing it because we know that God is going to show up in a great way. And we don't want you to miss out on all the way that, that God invites us to live and everything that He has for us, right? And then I just want to say this as well. Who is this challenge for and who is it not for? Well, for those people who are currently tithing, if you're currently tithing, you don't have to worry about this challenge. If you've taken the 90-day tithing challenge like David did in the video, and you're still continuing to give, this challenge is not for you. Do not sign up, okay? However, the people in here or listening online, if you are a person who has never done this, then just take a leap of faith, just try it. Because in a sense, it's risk-free financially, but more than that, it's going to allow you to experience God in His hand firsthand in your life. So now for the third category, I would say if you give perhaps every week or occasionally, and maybe you only give like 1% or 2%, or maybe you don't even know how much you give, I would say just pick a percent. If 10% is too high for you, pick 5%, pick 7%. I think that, those are stepping stones to what God has called us to do. And for a lot of us, you know what, you may be giving 10% now, and maybe God's calling you to go 12% or 15% because God has blessed you so much. But whatever it is, we should give progressively, we should give consistently and intentionally. So just sign up and say, I'll pick a percent and I'll be more intentional instead of just giving whatever feels safe and whatever I have left over, because that's the point of walking in faith. So I invite you to take the challenge because I guarantee you're not going to regret it. Nobody that I know or has ever met has come back to me and said, I regret this, this habit or lifestyle. I regret this challenge in my life. So please consider it, pray about it, but join us in this journey.